Welcome all, my name is Clinton James. I am a 6th grade social studies teacher down in Sussex County Public Schools, and today I am going to be demoing Gimkit for you. Gimkit was started back in 2018 by a high schooler named Josh, who believed he could make a review system that was more engaging and better than what was already out there. This included alternatives such as quizzes and Kahoot. Similar to quizzes and Kahoot, students answer questions and they kind of get that instant feedback whether their answer is right or wrong. Unlike quizzes or Kahoot, though, students are competing to earn money. That money is used to purchase power-ups and other advantages in the game. Additionally, questions within a game continually recycle. So unlike quizzes or Kahoot where you kind of go through it once and when you run out of questions, the game's over, Gimkit keeps going until a goal has been met, whether that's a time goal or a certain amount of money. This is the Gimkit home screen, and it relies on kits. Kits are essentially each quiz or game, and they contain the different questions inside of it. So, looking at one that I have previously already created, I have this one right here. Now you can search for kits or you can create your own. I've had more luck creating my own, but other teachers I know have had great success searching for pre-made kits. When you create a kit, you're gonna obviously name it. So we're gonna say review, history and social studies, and we need to select our language, English, next. Choose a cover photo. Now, this is where you will add the questions. You can add an individual question. You can import from a spreadsheet. This is a great option if you use quizzes and have questions already saved in spreadsheets. This is going to make it a lot easier. It does take some time to go through and add questions using this method. Ordinarily, I'd say between 10 and 15 questions are needed for a 5 to 10 minute review. Any fewer than that, you're reducing the time the students are going to see those questions again. You can obviously do more. You'll just need a greater amount of time for the students to really go through it. One of my favorite features of Gimkit is this Kit Collab. Now, Kit Collab allows students to create the questions themselves, which will appear on a kit. So I do this as a review with my higher performing students. I set it up, they go in and they create the questions. I give them the parameters of this is the unit that we're gonna do a Gimkit on. I want you to create questions from it. They go through, and it's great because it engages them where not only do they have to come up with a question, they have to come up with an answer and other answer choices, which are not obvious, but are obviously not impossible. Once you're done with all of this, you would save it. We will go back to Gimkit, and we have it pops up right here, but obviously there's nothing in there. So we're going to go ahead and play a game. This is the Gimkit settings. So every time you want to play a game, this will come up. And there are two modes: classic, where students compete individually, and team mode, where students work together. These are your goals. You can either set a time limit for how long the quiz will take. You can set a race where students have to race to reach this amount of money. Or as a class, students have to reach a set amount of money. I've tried all three. There are differences to each. It just really depends on what I'm looking for. If I do as a do now or kind of a bell ringer, I generally do time. Race, I found, can be sometimes a little one-sided with students who are very good at earning money, and it kind of takes the fun out of it for some other students. So the time aspect I find sometimes works better. If you've created a class, you can select it from the drop-down menu. starting cash. So sometimes I give them starting cash, $100. Sometimes I give them $0. Sometimes I give them 500. It really just depends. And handicap, this is the lowest amount of money a player can have. I generally do 0. Don't feel the need for students to get into the negatives. Answer check allows students to instantly see whether a question is right or wrong. It will always validate a question, but it will not always display an answer unless this is checked. These are just some other settings right here. Join in late, especially during my first block when students can come in late from a late bus. I leave this on so students can just hop in. The shop options, you have power-ups, themes, and clean power-ups. So if you turn this on, students can't purchase power-ups which can harm another student's game. And some of those include freezing another student's computers, blurring their screen, taking money away. So depending on your class, your students, the environment, you can either turn this on so it's only clean power-ups or turn it off. Once we've gone through and set everything up, we'll hit continue and we get this game code. So we'll go to gimkit.com/play. There we go. And just got to remember my code. And enter my name. So back here, you've seen on the teacher screen, the name of the student has popped up. On the student screen, it gives you some kind of basic information. Slightly cool though is unlike quizzes on this loading screen, students can draw. So it's a great kind of little built-in time feature where a student who gets on right away and is waiting for a minute for another student to join, this enables them to have something to do. We'll go ahead and start. Go ahead and start it. As you can see, we have the money amount here. We have the timer, the name, and so on. So this is where we get the questions. So we have a question, I answer it, I get it right. Okay. Not sure about this one, got it wrong. I got that one wrong too. So now we're going to shop. If we go up here and you click shop, this is where students can go through and purchase different power-ups, different awards to aid their game. So increasing their money per question, a multiplier, streak bonus, insurance. They can purchase different power-ups. So you can blur another student's screen, deflects all harmful power-ups for 2 minutes, increase another player's balance by 25%, and so on. So there's lots of different things you can do. The fun thing is, and I sometimes do this to mess with students, you can click on the student themselves and you can freeze them, you can reduce their balance, you can increase their balance as well. So, you know, just for fun, you can increase their balance if they're a little low, kind of get them back in the game. It just gives another element to it. We'll go ahead and end it. And we have our report coming up, or our leaderboard. So it makes a nice little introduction, first place. But this is great for the students, but for teachers, we want that data, that information on how well students did. And that's where the view report comes in. So as you can see, you see the player, and then correct, incorrect, and then the overall percent accuracy. I got a 33. Under the general overview, as it says, quick stats on how the game went down. This is the whole class. Collective balance, total number of questions answered correctly, answered incorrectly, and the overall accuracy. On the question breakdown, you get to see on each question how the class overall did. So it gives you different metrics for how a class did, or how an individual student or group of students did. So it's really nice in that way, very similar to quizzes in terms of the analytics that you can run with it. Getting back to our dashboard, we're going to look at the different components over here. We have assignments, classes, news, Kit Collab, seasons, challenges, and locker. For assignments, you need to create a class. So we create a class. We're going to call it fifth block. There's no fifth block at my school, but we're going to call it fifth block. You choose a color, you create it. Students need to create a free Gimkit account. At my school, students created it using their school-provided Gmails. Made it a lot easier. Students have to remember one less password, and you just give them this link. Invites will pop up here, and you can see the members here. Once your class is created, you can go to assignments. And assignments are where you assign a kit for students to complete on their own. So when you create an assignment, you pick the specific kit you want. You choose a due date, however far in advance you want. And then you pick the classes that you want to assign it to. Then you create a custom title if you want, target cash, how much should they strive for, starting cash, handicap, very similar to the startup page on a regular Gimkit game. News just provides brief updates and different new features that have come out through Gimkit. Kit Collab, this is again what I was talking about, where students can create the kit themselves. Definitely something my students enjoyed. Take some practice creating questions, but they overall had a blast doing it. Seasons lets you take an arbitrary amount of time and turn it into a season. So it can be a day, it can be a week, it can be a month, whatever length of time you want it to be. And any Gimkit game you do in that time frame gets added to the season leaderboard. So my first block is in the lead, and as you can see, it's just a great way to increase competition between classes and kind of add another element to it. Some final thoughts. I have definitely enjoyed Gimkit. My kids love using it. They wish we could play it every day. We don't. But they get an absolute kick out of doing it. It's definitely helping with some of the lower performing students with some of those review aspects as well. One downside to it, though, is I have the pro version. The free version is very limiting. Under the free version, you can only have 5 kits. And if you delete a kit, that still counts towards your 5. Additionally, you can only edit a kit a certain amount of time. The pro version for an individual is only $60 a year. So as a school, we purchased a group subscription, which is good for up to 20 teachers to start us off to see if more people wanted to get on board. So that's a great option as well. You kind of get a discount. But at $60, a lot of teachers were thinking about just doing it themselves because it didn't seem that outright expensive. I hope you've enjoyed this brief overview of Gimkit. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is cjames@sussexschools.com. That's CJAMES at SUSSEXSCHOOLS.com, or hit me up on Twitter. My handle is at Mr_CJamesII for 2. And I'll be glad to help. Again, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy using Gimkit, and have a great day.